I've got to piss. Again, it's always like this, isn't it? The constant pressure, the nagging urgency. It's society's fault, really. All these societal norms about where and when it's appropriate to relieve yourself. As if my bladder gives a damn about their arbitrary rules. I'm power walking down Fifth Avenue, cursing under my breath at every pedestrian who dares to slow my progress. They're all part of the problem, shuffling along like mindless drones, probably never questioning why they can't just take a leak whenever and wherever they want. Sheep, the lot of them. There's a Starbucks up ahead. Normally, I'd rather piss in the street than give those corporate vampires my business. But desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm about to duck inside when I spot it. An alley I've never noticed before, tucked between two towering office buildings. Now, I'm no stranger to the streets of this godforsaken city. I've lived here for years, wandering its concrete canyons, always on the lookout for my next opportunity. But this alley, it's new, and in a city where nothing ever really changes except the prices, that's intriguing. I glance at the Starbucks, then back at the alley. The smart move would be to use the cafe's restroom, maybe swipe some sugar packets while I'm at it. But I've never been one for the smart move. Where's the fun in that? Besides, alleys make great impromptu bathrooms. No judgy baristas, no lines, no having to buy a $5 coffee just to take a piss. Decision made, I duck into the alley. It's narrow, the kind of space most people would hurry through with their heads down and their hands on their wallets. But not me. I stroll in like I own the place, already fumbling with my zipper. Let's see society try to stop me now. But as I'm about to unleash the flood, something shifts. The alley seems to stretch before my eyes, the far end receding into the distance. I blink. Sure, it's just a trick of the light, but when I open my eyes, the alley's even longer. What the hell? I mutter, forgetting about my urgent need to piss for a moment. I turn to look back at the street, but the entrance to the alley is gone. There's just more alley stretching out behind me, vanishing into shadows. Now, a normal person might panic at this point, might start yelling for help or trying to scale the walls. But not me. I've been in tighter spots than this and always come out on top. This is just another challenge, another opportunity to prove that I'm smarter than whatever cosmic force thinks it can mess with me. I start walking, figuring there's got to be an end to this alley somewhere. As I move, the walls seem to close in, the sky above narrowing to a thin strip of fading light. It's getting darker, the shadows deepening from gray to pitch black. But I keep going. What choice do I have? The pressure in my bladder is becoming unbearable now. Each step sends a jolt of discomfort through me. I consider just stopping and pissing right here in this impossible alley, but something holds me back. Some instinct telling me that would be a very, very bad idea. I lose track of how long I've been walking. Could be minutes, could be hours. Time feels wrong here, stretched and distorted, like the alley itself. The darkness is complete now, so thick I can almost feel it pressing against my skin. I'm walking blind, one hand on each wall to guide me. Just when I'm starting to think this alley might go on forever, that I'm doomed to wander in darkness with an ever-full bladder for all eternity, I see it. A pinprick of light ahead. Hope surges through me along with a renewed determination. I knew I'd find a way out. I always do. I pick up my pace, ignoring the protests of my overfull bladder. The light grows larger, brighter. I can make out shapes now. Movement, a street, people. I've done it. I've beaten whatever weird trick this alley tried to pull on me. With a final burst of speed, I emerge from the alley and stop dead in my tracks. This isn't my city. The buildings are all wrong. Shorter, squatter, made of some material that gleams dully in the strange purple-tinged light. The streets are wider, paved with something that looks like glass, but feels oddly soft under my feet. And the people, I've seen some weird fashion trends in my time, but this takes the cake. Everyone's wearing these billowing, iridescent garments that seem to shift and change color with every movement. Their skin has an odd metallic sheen to it, and their eyes are just a bit too large, a bit too bright. One of them notices me standing there, gawking like an idiot. They approach, moving with a fluid grace that's almost hypnotic. When they speak, their voice is melodic with an accent I can't place. "Are you well, traveler? You seem displaced." I bark out a laugh. Displaced. Yeah, that's one word for it. I'm fine, I tell them, trying to sound more confident than I feel. Just took a wrong turn, I guess. Can you tell me how to get back to New York? The person, I'm not entirely sure if they're male or female, tilts their head in a bird-like motion. New York? I'm not familiar with that place. Is it far from here? Now it's my turn to be confused. Not familiar with, it's New York City, the Big Apple. How can you not have heard of it? They shake their head, those two bright eyes filled with something that might be pity. I'm sorry, but there's no such place in Lumina. Perhaps you've traveled further than you realized. Lumina, the name sends a shiver down my spine, though I couldn't tell you why. I'm about to demand more answers when my bladder gives an urgent throb, reminding me of more pressing matters. Look, I say, trying not to squirm, this is all very interesting, but right now I really need to find a bathroom. Where can I? But they're already shaking their head again. Bathroom? I'm not familiar with that term. What function does this room serve? For a moment, I'm sure they're messing with me. How can anyone not know what a bathroom is? But the genuine confusion in their eyes tells me they're serious. And suddenly, I'm hit with a terrifying thought. What if there are no bathrooms here? What if these strange, shimmering people don't eliminate waste the way we do? No, that's impossible. Every living thing has to piss and shit. It's a universal constant. These weirdos might call it something different, but the function has to exist. A place to urinate, I say bluntly, to expel liquid waste from the body. Where do you do that? Their eyes widen in what looks like shock. Waste? From your body. How inefficient. We have long since evolved past such primitive functions. Our bodies recycle all nutrients perfectly. I stare at them, my mind reeling. A society without bathrooms, without the need to piss or shit. It's like a dream come true and a nightmare all at once. Because right now, with my bladder feeling like it's about to burst, I'd give anything for a good old-fashioned toilet. Well, bully for you, I growl, my discomfort making me snappish. But I haven't evolved past it, and I need to go. Now. So unless you want me to start watering the plants around here, you'd better point me to somewhere I can relieve myself. They seem taken aback by my tone, those shimmering garments rippling in what might be agitation. I'm not sure how to help you. This is unprecedented. Perhaps the elders would know what to do. Elders, great. Just what I need. To be paraded in front of some council of alien geriatrics while I'm dying for a piss. But what choice do I have? Fine, I say through gritted teeth. Take me to your leaders. As we walk, or rather, as I waddle and they glide through the strange city, I can't help but marvel at the place. Despite my discomfort and general disdain for, well, everything, I have to admit it's impressive. The buildings seem to be alive, shifting and changing shape subtly as we pass. The air is filled with floating lights that move with purpose, like a swarm of bioluminescent fireflies. And everywhere, these strange, beautiful people go about their business, not a care in the world, not a single one of them needing to stop and take a leak. I should be fascinated, should be asking a million questions. But all I can think about is my stupid, primitive need to piss. It's almost funny, in a cosmic joke kind of way. I've somehow stumbled into what seems like an advanced alien civilization, and all I can focus on is finding a place to empty my bladder. We arrive at a large, domed building that seems to pulse with an inner light. My guide, I never did get their name, leads me inside. The interior is vast, a single open space filled with what look like floating platforms. On these platforms stand figures similar to my guide but older, their garments more elaborate, their skin almost translucent. The elders, I assume. My guide speaks to them in a language that sounds like music, all lilting tones and impossible harmonies. I catch my guide gesturing to me several times. The elders listen, their expressions unreadable. Finally, one of them floats down to my level. "Greetings, strange one," they say, their voice resonating in a way that makes my teeth vibrate. "We understand you have a problem, a biological function our kind has not needed to perform in millennia." I nod, not trusting myself to speak without unleashing a torrent of curses. The pressure is almost unbearable now. The elder seems to sense my distress. "We may have a solution," they say. "Our ancestors developed a technology to deal with waste before we evolved beyond the need. It has not been used in generations, but it should still function." They gesture, and a section of the floor ripples and parts. A structure rises from the opening, and I almost weep with joy. It's not quite a toilet as I know it, more like a sleek, futuristic version of a bidet. But it's close enough. Oh, thank God, I mutter, already fumbling with my zipper. Or thank you, I guess. Whatever. The elders in my guide tactfully turn away as I practically leap onto the device. The relief is indescribable, like every good feeling I've ever had, all rolled into one and multiplied by 1,000. I swear I can feel my brain releasing enough endorphins to kill a horse. As I'm standing there, euphoric in my relief, a thought strikes me. These people, advanced as they are, have no concept of bathrooms, no need for them, which means I start to laugh. It bubbles up from deep in my chest, growing until I'm practically howling with mirth. The elders turn back to me, concern evident in their otherworldly faces. "Are you well?" one asks. "Has the device malfunctioned?" I shake my head, still chuckling. No, it works perfectly. I just realized something, that's all. "And what is that?" my guide asks, curiosity overcoming their earlier discomfort. I grin, zipping up my pants. "I just cornered the market on bathrooms in your entire civilization." They exchange confused glances. "Market? I don't understand." "Of course you don't," I say, my mind already racing with possibilities. "But you will. Oh, you will." And just like that, I've done it again. Dropped into an impossible situation and come out on top. These evolved beings might have their perfect recycling bodies, and their shimmering clothes, and their living buildings. But I've got something they don't. Good old-fashioned human greed, and the knowledge of something they've forgotten. I can see it now. A chain of waste elimination stations across Lumina. A necessity for any visitors from less evolved worlds. And who knows, maybe some of these perfect beings might want to try it out, for the novelty if nothing else. Slap some fancy name on it, market it as a primitive experience or a weight loss method. The possibilities are endless. My friends, I say, spreading my arms wide, let me tell you about a little thing called supply and demand. The elders listen, their expressions moving from confusion to interest as I lay out my pitch. By the time I'm done, they're nodding, those two bright eyes gleaming with a light I recognize all too well. The light of potential profit. As we begin to hash out the details of what will surely be the most bizarre business venture in the history of any world, I can't help but smile. Once again, I've landed on my feet. Once again, I've found a way to exploit a system, to turn a problem into an opportunity. And all because I needed to take a piss. Sometimes I think as I shake hands, or whatever the equivalent is with the elders, it pays to be a bit behind the evolutionary curve. Sometimes hanging on to those primitive needs is exactly what gives you the edge. So bring it on, universe. Throw me into all the weird alien worlds you want. I'll always find a way to come out on top. Because that's what I do. That's who I am. A man who always wins, one bathroom at a time.